Hello everyone, this is the recording for IS127 Unit 7 session. The Unit 7 discussion is the initial post is due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. What advantages do web page authoring tools offer over hand coding your pages? These tools provide HTML views to why do you think this is the case and do you think it is necessary? Reply to 3 others by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Don't forget your open-ended question, and don't forget your required APA reference and in-text citation. Be aware that next week, Unit 8, there is a discussion due Tuesday. Please do not post to the Unit 8 discussion until Monday of week 8. That's so you can get participation points. The Unit 7 assignment is also due Sunday. You're to complete Analyze, Correct, Improve, correcting and improving website content. You're going to open the Analyze 12 HTML file in your text editor and modify the comment at the top of the page to include your name and today's date. And then link the file to the Analyze style 12.css. So this is how it looks originally. You need to correct the link, and you need to add a title, because if you don't, then your file will get an error when you try to validate it. Then you're going to open the style sheet in your text editor and also modify the comment for it with your name and today's date. Then in the HTML file, you're going to open it in your browser and test the hyperlinks. Note the hyperlinks that are correct need to be corrected. In other words, the ones that don't go to the page they say they go to. Then you return to the text editor, your HTML file, and correct those links. So for instance, the first one doesn't go to W3 Schools because it's not complete. So it would need to be added, changed to this. So then you correct the others that need to be corrected. Then you're going to add a paragraph element to the footer that contains your name. So here's the footer. You're going to add a paragraph element and your name. Then you're going to add 3 more resources to the unordered list. So if we go back, you're going to add 3 more onto this list. Now they have to start with LI and have to have the A, which is the anchor element. And it would be between, it'd be right after this one, but before the end of the unordered list. So, whoops. Then you're going to update the Analyze style 12 CSS file to be consistent with figure 23. So I did put figure 23 in the next slide. This is what they're talking about, so that the colors and everything match. So what I did, because it just tells you to look at the figure, which is actually in the book, page 554, but to make things simpler, I went through and let you know what you had to change. So you need to change the background color of the body, and this is the color you need. Now, I didn't give you the full code, so you'll have to look it up. You can't depend on this to be correct. You need to look it up, so make sure you have the code correct. Then you need to change the background color to the header element. So originally it already had the font, the margin, and the padding. So you need to add the background color, and this is the color it should be. Then you're going to add color for the H1 and center it. Now there's probably not an H1 because we're adding the color and the text align. So you just add it to right after the header. That'd be fine. And so I gave you the picture. You also have to add to the main a box shadow, background color, font family, and font size. So the main is already there, and it has the display and the padding. but you have to add these 3. And again, like I said, you need to look them up. Make sure you're doing the code correctly. Then you want to add padding to the unordered list. Now the unordered list is in the main, so it's going to be the main ULLI. And then you're going to add padding and list. Just add it after the main, a main ULLI, and then padding and the list style. And then to the footer, you're going to add a margin top. So the footer was already there with the font size and the text align, but you need to add a margin top. And that's all that. And what that does is it changes everything to look like this figure here. All right, after you do all that, you're going to validate your CSS file and correct any errors, and validate your HTML file and correct any errors. That way, if you've made any mistakes in the coding that you put in, you can catch that. If I'm getting it because it's without being validated and I find errors, then I will count off for those. So you need to be doing that yourself. Make sure you zip all of the files and keep the style sheet in the CSS folder and submit the zip folder. Now the Unit 7 final project is in the labs, Lab 1, New Harvest Upgrading and Improving the Food Bank website. So this is all out of the book, but they gave you the instructions in the assignment. So you're going to open the text editor and then open the index.html document in the Lab 1 folder and update the comment at the top to include today's date and your name. Then you're going to remove the autoplay from the video element. So this is the video element, and this is the autoplay that they're talking about. And then you're going to add a poster element to the video element. So instead of autoplay, you're going to have a poster attribute and use image logo.jpg as the value. So you're going to go to page 541 for the correct code. Then for the final project, you're going to move the div class video element. So this is what I was talking about before, the video element, which is part of this div class video. So you're going to move this whole thing out of the main and into the desktop. So this whole thing gets moved to the desktop here. Now there will be another div after this that closes this part, but this is the div that's shown here. Then you're going to add an H3 element before the first paragraph element within the div class mobile. So this is the div class mobile. And there's already a paragraph there which says New Harvest is something. Right after that, you're going to add another paragraph, you see, and in it you're going to have an H3 element, which is this immediate pantry needs. So after immediate pantry needs with the colon, you're going to have your unordered list, which has canned vegetables, stuffing mix, instant potatoes, and cereal. So you see that you're adding it after this paragraph, but before this H3. And so you have your H3 and the unordered list, and then you have the one that they already had there. So then you're going to go to the style sheet and create a comment at the top. I'll create a new comment and style rule above the media query. So basically above this media only screen for tablet viewpoint, you're going to create a style rule for the H2 and H3 elements, and you're going to make sure you do the comments. So this is H2 and H3, and you're going to align it center. Then you're going to update the main style rule within the desktop media query by adding a background property. So this is the style from main specified. So it already had all these other things, and you need to add a background color. So you see over here, all of these things were already there, and you add a background color. And then you're going to update the section style rule within the desktop media query. Now the desktop media is below toward the bottom of this CSS file. And you're going to add a background color to the section element. So this is how the section element originally looked. You're going to add a background color. Then you're going to update the table rule, which is still in the desktop media query, so still toward the bottom, and you're going to add a background color. So this is the original table. Had all these things, and you're going to add a background color. Then you're going to validate your HTML code and your CSS code. You're going to zip all the files, that's volunteer, index, contact, and HTML, plus the folders with files, template, media, image, and CSS. So you're going to zip all those files and turn those in. The reason I have you do that is it's easier for me to check your code if I can just open your HTML, open the index, and it has all the pictures and the styles. If you don't have all of those, then it won't come out right, and then you'll have it counted wrong. So, and then you're going to submit the zip folder. Now I have my reference. That's just for the figure that I showed that was from the book. That's all I have for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know.